I definitely haven't been asleep today. It's crazy. And the craziest part is I don't drink coffee, bro. No kind of drugs and none of that. But my ass be up. I don't know. What's up, Golson? Yeah, it's that natural energy, man. What's up, D? Oh, where were you trying to send the file at? I'm gonna give I'm gonna give it probably one more minute before I start. Okay, I mean, yeah, I added you on Instagram. Did you like send it as a DM? But I didn't get nothing.
Have footage.
Steve, Takari, Demarcus, what's up? All right, though, about to go ahead and get started. So yeah, the four topics today, you got Tariq and Braden's origins, and I'm gonna have to explain that one a bit because I know the title here is a bit misleading. So basically, when I say basically what I'm talking about when I say Tariq and Braden origins is because you know how Courtney basically originally when writing book two Ghosts, it basically was trying to tell Ghost and Tommy's story, without basically trying to tell Ghost and Tommy's story when they were kids through Tariq and Braden. Like you've seen the similarities, the parallels, all these type of things, right? So it's it kind of had me thinking because I've been watching book two over now. And there's a couple things that I was just sitting there looking at and thinking about while I was, watching it. So that's the reasoning for this particular topic when I say that to Tariq and Braden origins. Then we got Kane. Basically, that was kind of self-explanatory. Is Kanan's son? Because that's something that's been said a lot throughout these power streets. So we can have a discussion on that. Then we got the most anticipated premiere. Like we did most anticipated episode before. We did best finales and stuff like that before. And I told you I would kind of touch on one of these days. What was the most anticipated premiere? Because like let's say basically one of the one after one season end and like someone would leave with so much hype, you basically like, damn, I can't wait till that Jen come back, and you just basically ready to see the premiere of the next season, and that's dealing with all of the powers, not just the original or anything like that. It's the whole power universe. And lastly, the most missed characters. So basically, out of all the characters throughout the Power Universe that have been taken away, that's died, are now currently as aside as is now currently in Power Heaven. Which ones do you guys miss the most? So that's all for topics. So go back to the top. Yeah, book two is like origins. Absolutely, I'm watching season three of The Reasonable Doubt. Yeah. What's up, Razel? See, Kane, not Kane inside. Book two always had the most social media engagement. Yeah, they did. I'm gonna say this. Even though I had the least amount of following, I made the most money off book two. Like my ratings were definitely the highest on book two. Now I don't know. Raising Kanan season three was doing pretty good too. So I don't know. Like it didn't not so hot season four, but season three, yes. But book two was also pretty damn good. And now I guess I have to see what a couple of them in power here. Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny? We should do a segment on it. We can cast judgment on them. Matter of fact, tomorrow's segment, I'm gonna make sure I add that in there. Um, we can cast judgment on them for all of our fallen warriors of power. Are they in power hell or power heaven? That'll be a funny segment, bro. Appreciate the super chat, the bargain. If Raising Canaan aired first before OG Power, would Power be as popular as it is now? That's actually a really good question, bro. Uh, I would say it all depends on the marketing because there isn't pretty any big characters outside of Omar Epps and Raising Canaan. So, you know, I think it would kind of struggle, even though the actors are good, and I think the writing is pretty good too. They would have to do some very heavy marketing into it for it to be successful. With 50 Cent's name behind it, he would have to really be pushing it to get people more engaged. But I would say this: it probably would have a hard time making it. Like I said, but it's all about marketing because there has been many of shows like that has made it. So I won't say it can't. Like I can give you two examples of ones like that right now that folks were a tad bit concerned about it because it was no real big names attachment to it outside of one person, and they were successful shows. One of the shows is All American. I remember working All American before it was even called All American. Um, Back in 2017, when it first came out, the name of it was the April Blair Project. No, the April Blair Pilot. And April Blair is actually the creator of All American, for those of y'all that don't know that. And actually, All American kind of struggled in the beginning because the only big cat actor that was kind of known on attached to it was Tay Diggs. So it kind of struggled. It wasn't until it got on. It wasn't until it got on Netflix really because it actually got canceled. Season one got canceled. For those of y'all that don't know that, it got canceled at one point, but it got on Netflix. And once they put it on Netflix. Netflix blew it up, and that's when a bunch of people became familiar with it, and that's when it became a very successful show. Like they didn't struggle anymore coming with season two and on down. And then the next one was also Snowfall. They had the same thing going on. Not the cancellation part, but it wasn't any real big names attached to it outside of this was John Singleton's project, which John Singleton is someone that is known to push out good films. So that it was good. It was marketing and John Singleton's name behind it. So I think if 50 Cent, let's say Raising Kanan would have been the first one, if with 50 Cent's name being behind it and the right marketing, because it is good writing and acting, it could have made it. But like I said, it all depends on that. Ali, I got the message from you this time. Let me see what it is you shared. I don't want to waste too much time reading some of it, but I will definitely check it out. I just glanced over it. Let me see what they say. So that's because Raising Canaan last season wasn't that good. Well, it wasn't very action packed. I will say it was a step down from the previous three seasons. I will agree with that. The only thing that kind of was very exciting was the unique dynamic to it. But yeah, but y'all saying hell no to it not being making it. I would I think it could have. Power is what made the backstories interesting. Most prequels are successful. Hold on, what just happened? Um, Most prequels are successful because of the original. Yeah, but I'm not gonna just say it wouldn't make it, because of that. Appreciate the super. You said who is more gangster, Kane from Snowfall or Ronnie from Raising Canaan? Lamar from BMF. Okay, so you added a trio this time. I mean, Kane was gangster. He was gangster. Cause I mean, I liked how he basically did what he did to Leon and Franklin, and then was in the middle of the football field watching the game and wasn't ducking no smoke while he was out there about that action. So that was pretty damn gangster. And then I think running goes without saying. We ain't really gotta say nothing about them. And Lamar kind of the same. The mind is hell. The most gangster one about see, it's kind of hard to say with this, and I'm gonna say the reason why is because Lamar, even though his is actually the only one that actually comes from a real character, but BMF is like the most unrealistic show because a lot of stuff they did with Lamar. Come on, that nigga would have been dead. But so it's kind of hard to say that. But I mean, judging by what we did see, we probably have to go with Lamar. Tariq and Braden first meet as roommates at okay, that's IMDb. I wish we got more of Kanan hallucination scenes in Ghost. Yeah. People are only in love with Raising Kanan because of the OG power backstories. I wish they would have killed off Tommy instead of OG Kanan. A couple of people are saying that. It would be crazy if I see Tariq and Braden in the storyline with Kanan and Breeze and Power Origins. How would that even be possible? Like, wait. I love Raising Kanan for the 80s, 90s vibes. Lamar was a superhero. Ronnie was a nerd. Yeah, but there was all gangster though at the same time. But absolutely, Lamar was a damn superhero. Well, a super villain. You say you gotta go with Kane from Snowfall? Why Kane? This might don't change the whole subject. Tariq and Braden need more villains that are worthy. For sure. Absolutely. But look, for those of y'all that are saying, because raising Canaan is a good story without knowing what happened. This is the reason why I say yes, it could absolutely have made it without it. It was a good story even without knowing, what I'm saying, the original power. Like I do know certain people. Matter of fact, for those of y'all that was in, remember it was one guy that randomly came into my live one time. He was like, "What are y'all talking about?" It was a random guy. And we was like, I took it as he was just trolling at first. So I wasn't really paying too much attention to what he was saying. But he was like dead serious. And I saw that, okay, he's actually serious. And he ended up, we told him about the show, and he ended up watching, what I'm saying, Raising Canaan somewhat first. And he thought it was good without watching the original. I do know people that watched Raising Canaan first before the original. So, like I say, it's a good show without knowing what the original was about. Because it's not one of those shows that, oh, you wouldn't know what's going on here, or you wouldn't know what's happening without knowing what happened in the original. So it definitely could have made it. Like I said, it's about the marketing. We just say, well, not we, because I didn't say it. Y'all just saying that because you've seen the original. But I think, like I said, if it would have just been put out there, they blasted, like they put a heavy budget into social media ads and billboards and stuff like that. And 50 Cent is big enough that you might be like, okay, all right, Phil, I'll go ahead and check it out. And then I think if you actually watch it, it's not one of them shows you're like, man, this is boring. I mean, it's a like I said, it's a great story without knowing. The only thing is, in the beginning when he's saying, "You know how my story ended. Well, this is how it started." That part wouldn't make sense to you. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? The rest of it would make sense. Would be interesting if we see Kane and Tommy meet. Yeah, it would be. Tariq and Braden need more villains that are well. Okay, I think I read that already. Yeah, I did. Tariq and Braden are trash. We really didn't need Power Book 2 Ghosts if they had Power Origins. That is the truth. See, like Book 2, actually, if y'all want to point one of them out that wouldn't have made it without the original, the one that wouldn't have made it without the original is probably Book 2. That's the truth. Book 2 rolled out the cocktail of the original. This show is a good show on its own, but I don't think it would be as. Now I think actually Takara. I actually we can go ahead and make a bet on that, man. I think Origins is gonna be really good. Actually, Book 2 is for Tariq origin story, though it is a fan favorite for the YNs for sure. And I think that's what they were doing, capturing that demographic of people. The younger audience. But the problem is, while capturing a lot of younger audience, which they made, I'm pretty sure they still did grow more than they lost, but they definitely lost some fans too. Like a lot of the older, middle age and older fans that watched the original, they stopped watching. Like I actually know quite a few just of people that I know. Book 2 is the best one. Whole new storyline, not based on riding Ghost Cotton. Book 2 is not the best one, bro. Stop it. Book 2 is the most popular one. It's not the best one. It's not, to be honest with you, it's not even close. If you look at it from a writing perspective, an acting perspective, and things in that nature, it is absolutely not the best one. It's just the most popular. The reason why Book 2 was so successful is because they had a bunch of characters that we already knew. You already knew Tariq. You already knew Braden. You already knew Tasha. Then you already knew Lorenz Tate. Then you throw some more popular faces on there, Mary J. Blige and Method Man. That's the reason why that one was so big. Had nothing to do with it being better. Like I said, Raising Kanan got to the level that it's at, and you didn't know any of the characters except Omar Epps. And I know a lot of people that agrees with it that Raising Kanan overall is the better show. Matter of fact, you if you look them up on the rating stuff, Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Raising Kanan has a higher rating. Reason being, it's the better show, people. It's like I said, Book 2 is just more popular. It only became that popular because of the original. If you just put, I promise you, let's say the original Power didn't exist, and you just throw Book 2 out there, Braden and Tariq is your leads. I think even with Mary J. Blige and Method Man being attached to it, and you throw Lorenz Tate on there, that show is nowhere near as big. Like they audience probably would get cut in half because the writing the writing was good, but at the same time, especially with it taking the nosedives throughout the seasons, because Tariq and Braden's supposed to be the main characters, and technically it's like to how the storyline started over, overpowering him and shit like that, bro. No. Raising Kanan sticks to what they supposed to stick to. The leads get the right amount of time. They don't do overkill, like it's too much killing. It's not nearly as predictable as book 2 and 4. Look at it this way. I'm gonna say this. Look at it this way. If all three of them, right, was a book, let's say book 2, 3, and 4 was an actual book, and you was reading it, not watching it, so you don't know nothing about who's the characters playing it. Which one would be the most appealing book? Think about that. It definitely wouldn't be book 2. Y'all done created a whole new topic, but hey, I'm with it. I would rather see Kane in the OG power with Mecca. Them diehard Ghost fans for sure. Yeah, book 2 needed the original book. Two was Courtney trying to prove they didn't need Amara. Exactly. And they only think about this. Think about this, D. It only made it that big because of Amari. Even though she was trying to prove that they needed Amari, the only reason why a lot of viewers stayed tuned was because of the manipulation of the writing. Look how they did it. In the beginning, they did a closed casket for the funeral of Ghost. Look how Stephen Knight was constantly trying to protect the name of Ghost. The same with Simon Stern. And then the letter, I knew you'll end up here, little nigga, right where you belong. Yasmin having to go to, you know what I'm saying? Yasmin having to go into the foster home and stuff like that. The way Ghost playing, all the stuff that he put in his will in case of certain events and stuff, it just keep making you think Ghost is alive. They kept they kept manipulating the audience to keep watching to see if Ghost was going to return. If they never put any of that in there, I think they would have lost a lot of viewers. They were riding off the cocktail of book 1, bro. That is the truth. You can't say Raising Kanan was riding out the cocktail of book 1 because they really didn't touch on it too much. They didn't talk about Ghost and Tommy at all. It was about brand new characters. It was just really, really good freaking writing and good acting. It's like 50 Cent said on the interview with Gilly the Kid on what is it, $1 million Worth of Game podcast, when he was telling folks about not to write when they're, when you don't really have a name for yourself, not to make a movie, make a TV series. And I agree with him absolutely 100% with this. Is because with movies, you need big names in order for it to really pop. And then you only got 30 seconds to sell it to the people with the trailer, 32 seconds to a minute and a half with the trailer to sell it to the viewers to see if they want to watch it or not. So that the thing is with series, all you need is good actors and good writing, which is what Raising Kanan is. They didn't have no big names. It was good actors, good writing. And think about it with this too, with book 2. Let's just say Michael Rainey was to decide, oh, I don't want to do Power no more, but before book 2 started airing, right? Let's say Michael Rainey said that. And then let's say no Mary J. Blige is a regular person. And let's just say it's not a regular person that's a great actor, but it's somebody the same acting level. And no Lorenz Tate, none of them big names attached to it. And you put regular people up in there. That show would not have made it like it did. Book 2, Ghost. Ghost is a Timu version of OG Power. Book 2 was doing COVID too, so people was watching. Right, that's another thing that helped Book 2 tremendously. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's another great point. People had nothing else to do but to stay in the house and watch shows. Take away Detective Carter and Noma from the storyline would have been a lot better. Raising Kanan is trash. Okay, but book 2 is just a reinvention of the ghost story. I mean, yeah, Ghost is absolutely better than BMF. There's no question about that. Right, Ghosty. Did Tate ever meet the Tejadas? Oh shit. I'm trying to think about that. Did he? Character including Tariq struggles to be true to themselves as they grapple their identities and decide whether to embrace or reject the dangerous world they are in. Da Vinci from BMF is a better actor than Michael Rainey Jr. No, he is not. I'm sorry. No, he is not. Da Vinci is good at certain scenes, but it's a lot of scenes I've seen Da Vinci to struggle on. Not so I can't agree with that. I've never Michael's biggest thing is he does, and I remember Alice Lepre touching on this on the crew has it. He does have an issue with giving direct eye contact. So it kind of makes me wonder how is his self tapes when he does self tapes. If anyone that's familiar with how actors in the modern day time does self tapes now, it kind of made me wonder how his be because he has trouble with doing the eye level. Um, so how did they do his eye line? Maybe he doesn't do that with self tapes, but when he actually does act like acting on screen, um, he he has a hard time, looking people in their eyes. I don't know what that is with him, but I never seen him like look at a scene with him and be like, okay, yeah, that was bad. I don't recall seeing that with Michael. I can definitely say I seen that with Da Vinci. Not saying Da Vinci is a bad actor, but he's not better than Michael. Did I miss the origins conversation? Nah, you really didn't, bro. We just it ended up spiraling. DeMarcus pretty much changed the topic with some of his questions, and we ended up having a totally different discussion. But I'm actually about to dive back into it. Now, so this origins thing is not we're not really talking about Ghost and Tommy though. We're talking about basically the first version of the origins. They were trying to do it through Tariq and Braden. That's what Courtney's original plan was. Michael Rainey Jr. played in the movie Love with Common in 2012. Ghost and Tariq characters were stolen from that movie. Common was Ghost, his gangster uncle, moving weight in suits. That's interesting, guys. I actually never seen that. They still gonna troll and leave hints. Ghosts alive to keep the viewers going. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Without that, book two wouldn't have been nearly as big. That's why I said they rolled off book one's cocktail, which was smart. I mean, I'm not doubting them for doing it. It was smart. But but to say book three, Raising Canaan was writing out their cocktail, that's just simply not true because they didn't really even use any of that of any of the things in related to. I mean, of course, we know it's the prequel of that, but the story absolutely could have made it without you ever seeing book one before. Book two, you can't say that because they're constantly mentioning ghosts throughout the entirety of book two. They're talking about James St. Patrick. If they keep talking about him, Tasha, Tariq, Carter, Tate, Stephen I, all of them are constantly mentioning his name, right? Tommy coming back and mentioning him. So think about that. Would that show be able to survive without knowing who Ghost was? No, it would not. Now let's go back and look at Raising Canaan. Not mentioning Ghost. Oh, they haven't mentioned Ghost. They haven't mentioned Tommy. So that tells me that show can survive without book one. Book two cannot. I think I rest my case on that. Absolutely hit the like button, people. Yeah, that's why I was saying support. If Michael Rainey decided he didn't want to do it no more, the show would have sunk. I mean, they may could have possibly did a recast, but my what I was trying to point out is that the show was as popular as it was because of they already had familiar characters. Would you say Chris Lawton is a better actor than Michael Rainey Jr.? Yes, I will. Everyone take a moment of silence to acknowledge this. Hey, this ride is funny, bro. Woody McClain could carry book two if Michael Rainey Jr. wasn't in the show. See, that's a that's only possible because Woody McClain was given the chance because Michael Rainey was on the show. Though, let's be real. I remember reading the comments when book two first aired. People were saying that the show wasn't good. I remember that certain friends of mine were saying that the show wasn't good at first, and they were just, and I remember them actually calling out Woody McClain, saying that Bobby, they were saying that Bobby Brown boy is not it. They need to stop trying to. They need to get out of here with that shit. I remember them folks saying that, but folks gave the show a chance for because of the characters that were they were already familiar with, and the anticipation of seeing Ghost return. That's what carried it along long enough to watch Woody McClain, get used to his character, and then you look at him like, damn, dude, that's a really good actor. But see, he was given that opportunity because of book one. If they would have just thrown it out there without book one, that shit would have sunk. I don't give a fuck what no one says. Hey, I'm gonna say this. Michael's like, stop tunning this nigga though. Like he support's not bothering you, bro. You deliberately starting stuff. If he put you in timeout now, you're gonna say he did you wrong. You deliberately doing the shit right now. I believe Michael said on that podcast he doesn't do self tapes. Really interesting. See, that's what I'm saying. That makes sense because, like I said, with self tapes, with his acting style, it would make me wonder, like, how does he do it? Because with self tapes, you gotta kind of stay, look straight, find your eye line, and then do your thing. So that actually would make sense. I believe he doesn't do self tapes because he would be one of those people that would be better in person. The mark is yeah, I put Michael in timeout, bro. That nigga tripping. Like I said, you control people and stuff like that, but the disrespectful shit, we ain't doing that. DeMarcus Woody McLean and Michael Rainey Jr. are both slightly above average actors, but neither of them are great. Kane simply had better writing for his character, making him tough and seem superior. I can agree with that. Yeah. I think Michael is Michael and hold on, who else did you say? I agree with Michael being slightly above average. I think Michael is like good, but actually, I would disagree with Woody. I think he's actually a great actor. Now, is Kane's character written better? Yeah, but I mean, I've seen people that was given tough guy roles and stuff like that, and they don't do well with it because they're just simply not good at being that. So it's not like it's just easy to be that role. Everybody's not a good bad guy. Niggas went from hating Tariq to keeping up with him every day. The younger James St. Patrick, he is a character originated by. Okay, nigga, what are you talking about? Come on, bro. Yeah, Woody is definitely better. He got good range. Yeah, support. I put his ass in timeout. Actually, it say right here that he was banned. I don't know. I could have sworn I put timeout, but yeah, that nigga tripping. You want to know what's so crazy? I knew Ghost was dead this whole time because Blanca Rodriguez said they took a burner phone off Ghost's body when he was questioning Two Bit, remember? And she said it. No, that's kind of crazy, Leon. Nobody talks about that, but she did say that shit. I don't know. I gotta go back. Well, hold on. What season was that said? If you know. I think Michael is good, but he's just getting a little too. a little too comfortable playing Tariq. I feel like he has another level to tap into if he locks in. Woody just owned his role on Michael podcast. Mary said they would ad lib. Two contact numbers, two bits number, and the other came back to a guard that worked there. I do remember her saying something like that, but I'm trying to remember what was that season one? Yeah, because I actually remember because I just watched that shit I think not too long ago, but I didn't pay close attention to it. So basically, Hezekiah, what we talking about right now, it's supposed to have been another topic, but it ended up spiraling into something else. Um, Basically, we're talking about it's kind of a book two versus raising Canaan thing right now going on. Because people were saying, do you think raising Canaan would survive without the first one? Without book two. Without the original power. And I said, yeah, I think it could because the storyline is good. It just would take heavy marketing. Now, and then I kind of counted because folks were saying, oh, yeah, Takari said book two is better. And I was like, no, it's not. And I countered and said book two wouldn't be able to survive without the original because the whole entirety of the show, they basically talk about Ghost, which is a character that wouldn't exist if book one never existed. So that show wouldn't be able to survive without without Ghost. I can't wait to see Origins cover art for the series. What you mean finally another real nigga in the chat? Nigga, it's been one. Soon this shit open. I would rather prefer you time out people that support Game 2026. It's your channel. Yeah. Season 6 Steel Dre episode, I be having hella theories. I don't have a way to voice them for real. Hey, you always got a channel. You can always create a channel. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. If you said it came out of the Steel Dre episode, then that means you ain't necessarily got to go 100% with what was said. Cause I told folks that shit was made up stories. The actor who plays Bobby DeFranco auditioned for the comedy. Yeah, I remember them saying that. Kane is 12 years older than Tariq in real life. At 12th grade, would be able to beat a first grade in acting or basketball. But Michael Rainey Jr. will be a better actor than Woody is now, about 36. That's not true because Michael Rainey has been acting since he was 6 years old. Woody McClain didn't even get into acting until he got to LA in like 2000. Well, he started getting into acting like 2000, maybe 15. So no, actually, Michael has been acting longer than him. In fact, a lot of the people on the show has been acting longer than Woody. Woody is actually one of the newer actors. I dropped a link for people that might want to come up themselves. But yeah, um, what I was gonna say before it's crazy this one went on damn near an hour. But what I was gonna say before I move on to the next topic is I was realizing while watching season one, how Courtney was saying, they basically rewriting the Ghost and Tommy story. as kids. Well, they're younger virgins through Tariq and Braden. And I'm just thinking about, how Two Bit was showing up and stuff like that, doing what he's doing. It made me think, was that like what Tariq and Braden's character were like when when they were in school, like Ghost and Tommy when they were in school, and then like was Lauren, because if you pay attention to the things Lauren's saying and the way she's moving, it kind of seemed like what you would think and Angie was like towards Tommy, towards when they were in school, because Braden didn't, I mean Tommy didn't like Angie probably didn't like Tommy either, although Braden didn't dislike Lauren. It's kind of weird, but they changed it up some. Yeah, I knew she auditioned for the Angela role, which I'm curious of, how that would have turned out if she was Angie instead of Leela Lauren. With age comes wisdom and maturity and the ability to tap into different emotions. Stop making excuses for that old head guy. Nigga, I'm not making excuses at all. I'm looking at it as an actor, and I'm telling you that doesn't have anything to do with it. Somebody who's acting from a child and all the way up to an adult has an advantage over somebody who's older and started acting. Trust me, that's not how acting works. Acting, the best way to get better at it is to actually do the experience of the art of acting, being on camera, knowing how camera angles work, how to when you it's time to cheat certain scenes, how to do that and stuff like that, how to put yourself in position, how to take directions and stuff like that. There's a lot more to it when you actually have those cameras and stuff in front of you than just actually doing the acting. So the experience helps a whole lot. It also helps with the building of chemistry. Lauren in season two even thought Braden was the drug dealer on campus and thought Tariq was it. Exactly. That's what I was hinting at, support, because um, you know, Angie always thought that, Jamie was innocent and that Tommy was the bad guy, always in the streets. And of course, everybody around um Ghost seen him for what he was. Her dad, her sister, and folks around the neighborhood were saying, he's a drug dealer and stuff. And remember her saying in one of the episodes, I was right about you all along when she wasn't. You were wrong all along. Just like Lauren was wrong all along, thinking that Tariq was the innocent one. In actuality, you know, Tariq influenced Brayton. I I know you can't be referring to me by saying people just be yapping, because first off, I actually said um well, Lauren actually was constantly asking. My thing is, she would constantly. I'm not saying she hated Braden, but she would constantly asking Tariq, "Don't you think Braden doing this and stuff like that?" Because she was willing to try to, put it off on him as the drug dealer. Not that she just disliked him by hating him or something like that, but I would I would believe that Angie probably in the beginning didn't dislike Tommy like that. It wasn't until things kept happening and she seen how much of a bad influence he may possibly be on Jamie, at least so she thought, that she started to dislike him some. Bad man, what's good, my boy? Again, a 6-year old is not going to be cast to play the same type of role as a 34-year old. Age, bro, of course it matters when it comes to the type of character you're going to be. But what I'm saying is a person that's 6 years old and he's been acting since six and now he is 24, meaning he has 18 years of acting experience. He is going to have more experience and more than likely should be a better actor because of the experience than somebody who started when they were 28 and now they're 36. That's what I am saying. It don't matter nothing about let's say they both end up playing for a gangster role or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I don't think Tariq could have played. I mean, Michael could have played Woody's role as good as Woody can. I'm gonna say that. I don't because he's not good at gangster roles like that. He can kind of get a little gangster and stuff like that. Like he definitely got better over the years because I think in season 3 of Power he wasn't as strong when it came to some of those things, and he got better throughout you know throughout the years, which is how it typically happens. You get better with the experience. Now, do adult have a better chance, advantage over a kid at acting? Yes. But Michael is not a kid anymore. What I'm saying is you starting as a kid and become an adult, you have so much experience now. So as an adult, you as a 24-year-old should be able to trump a 36-year-old that hasn't been acting as long as you. That is what I'm saying. Angela was biased towards James. Yeah, absolutely, she was. Oh, okay, I got you, Demarcus. Because trust me, not only do I do acting myself, I actually do my own casting. I don't seen it with people doing coming in the room and stuff. Like I don't audition thousands of people throughout my casting, so I know how this shit works. Some of the time, some of the people come in the room, big time actors. Like if I one of the days, if some folks was really interested in, I can show y'all my audition room where I can pull it up, the official acting um casting director site, and show you some of the big time actors that submitted to my projects and show you their auditions. I can pull that shit up. So what's the reason why I should check out The Wire right now? I know we're not talking about Young Ghost new, but I can't believe them. They know this was the most anticipated moment since Breeze. I hope they spin it well. Yeah. Yeah, that's really what it is, Ollie. Woody was a natural. Certain people, they just naturals. If you got the work ethic, you can just naturally get into it and do it. And then it's actually certain people, no matter how much experience they have, they're not a natural. So it's just not going to come to them. Like acting to a degree is either you have it or you don't, to be honest with you. Now, can you work to get better? Absolutely. Not saying that you can't. But I'm just saying people who have the I remember my first acting coach when I first started wanting to act, and I'm not trying to brag on myself, but I was better than a lot of my classmates. And my teacher used to say, "You have a lot of that natural talent where you just could do it easily without, really putting a whole lot of effort into it." But certain people, they actually got to work with it, work on it. It's like certain things, how to deliver certain lines and stuff. Like certain people can just catch on and then boom, be like that because it feels natural to you. And some people are just be saying it seems like they're just saying their lines. Yeah, the more you experience the acting, it'll start to elevate and sharpen up the skills of how great you can act at all time high. Yeah, I promise you, if whether you go to a actor with a whole bunch of experience, whether it's an actor that's a celebrity, and stuff like that, or anybody that's been doing it for a while, I can guarantee you that everybody will unanimously agree. More than your acting class, more than practicing in the mirror, practicing on camera and stuff at your home and stuff like that. The thing that gets you ready the most is actually being on set. That's because you're going to be there in front of the cameras, following directions, and actually getting the experience of how all of this stuff is created. So that's why I said somebody that's a 6-year old will have a better advantage once they become an adult, than somebody who's just because they're older than them, you know, that's already an adult, and then they start acting. You said Willie McLean hasn't won any awards for book two goes. However, Michael Rainey has. I mean, I'm trying to remember what was it the one that Michael did win. What was it that he won? And also, this is the thing. Unfortunately, Power 50 Cent shows has one of those things where they're not going to give them certain. They're not going to give them awards. Like you'll get a NAACP award, but like Emmys, no, they're not going to give it to you. And also, you can't judge these awards simply off the acting. I'm just going to be on 100 with you when it comes to that. And it's the same with the music industry. Politics, absolutely, is a thing when it comes to that shit. If you're following what they want you to do, they'll give you an award for it. You don't, hey, you ain't getting shit. But what I do know is if you ask everybody, they say, "Hey, do you watch Book Two Ghost?" If they say yes, and you ask them, I could put up a poll on the YouTube channel and ask them who's the better actor, Michael Rainey or Woody McClain. I can guarantee you, majority is gonna say Woody McClain. And this is no, I'm not trying to shit on Michael because I do fuck with him, but I'm just saying it is what it is. Oh, you say he won Best Young Actor? Okay, so that makes sense. That's an award that Woody doesn't qualify for. So that would make sense. I put you in timeout because you was constantly calling this dude name. I told you don't disrespect folks on the channel. You can disagree. I don't care about you even trolling people. But calling folks pussies, bitches, and stuff like that in the chat, I'm gonna time your ass out. If you do it again, I'm gonna ban you. I wish I didn't miss the live where you talked about Beauty in Black. Yeah, Demarcus, I wish you was there, bro. I really do. What I was thinking is I might start trying to do a recap for it, you know, for each episode possibly. And then maybe have a small segments for it on the last to put it on there because to build more of an audience of people that do watch it because it was kind of hard for me to actually have a segment for it when I got a group of people that don't watch it, so I don't really have anybody to engage with because everybody that was in the chat at the time didn't watch it. They were talking about power, so basically by default, I was forced to move on and just talk about power. Okay, so it's outstanding actor. I figured, and I knew it had to be in WATP because, like I said, those are the type. That's the only award that like a power show will win. The Kyrie, he won outstanding. Okay, and that's a good fate. I'll give it to him. Like I said, I don't think Michael's a bad actor. Do I think he's better than Woody? No, I do not. Yeah, well, see, Ghosting, that's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna try to do some more material for Beauty and Black then, and then get it more familiar to try to get some more subscribers that actually watch it, and then I'll have a segment. I have a few segments for it, but right now I think my audience is too small for it right now to really do a live on it. And to be honest, it's probably the same for reasonable doubt right now. But what I'm going to do is, like I say, if I once they since that one's is episodic, they release their episodes one at a time. It'll be easier for reasonable doubt because I could do a couple of different videos on it, pull from it, get an audience, and then basically later on insert it to the live. I just banned Michael too. Like I just literally told that nigga he don't come in there and do it again. I be thinking these people like Michael Lee and a couple of them. I be thinking that it be sometimes I be thinking it'd be this nigga Shay Rue creating different accounts doing this shit. He the one that be doing shit like that. It's bad that. But anyways, that nigga gone now. Yeah, unfortunately, Demarcus. But that's why I gotta try to expand to try to get some more people. But that damn, I've been on this topic a long time. Let me go ahead and move. So topic number two, my good people, is Kanan's son? That's something that a lot of people have been speculating on because they're saying, oh, he he doesn't look like Lorenzo, which is true. He doesn't look like the big. And this he's dark skinned, which so is Diana. So that's one defense against that. It the fact that Lorenzo wanted Drew to run the organization instead of Kane. Now you can make an argument it's because he just thought Drew was better fit for it. But some were, speculating that the reason is because he knew that Kane wasn't his son. And then of course, he had him beat up in prison and stuff like that. And let me ask y'all something. Let's say Drew was the one who ended up, brushing Monet off the way Kane did. Do you think Lorenzo still have Drew beat up in the prison cell like he did Kane? Or is that just something he would have did to Kane? Ask the pappy. It ain't no damn Lorenzo Jr. Lorenzo being Poppy was terrible casting. He didn't fit in the show at all. Mm, I thought he was all right. I thought it was all right. I mean, did I think it was great casting? No, but I think it was all right. I understand where Michael Lee is coming from because support timed me out also for no reason. Which is and guess what? And this is the thing, though, Demarcus. When he did that to you, what did I do? I checked the situation, told him not to do it again. And then the same way with Michael, I told him with Michael, don't time him out. Let him have his freedom to say what he wants to say, regardless if it's something that other people may not want to hear. I want to have folks to have the liberty to say what they want as long as they're keeping it respectful. That's always been my thing on this channel. But when you start to be disrespectful, you're gonna get a warning. Once I tell you, yo, chill that out, and I give you that first. Actually, I give you a warning first, and then after you don't stop, I give you a timeout. And then after your timeout, if you come back and do it again, then your ass get banned. So I mean, pretty much you asking for it at that time. Like Demarcus, you never called nobody out their name, calling them pussies or bitches and stuff like that. Directly doing that. That's different. I ain't going front. For some reason, I was saying that before, but then again, I don't think so because Kane and them would have been known who Tariq is. Not really. I mean, shit. Who to say that Kanan wasn't just a deadbeat? Drew did get beat up too after Zeke death. You know what? He did have some niggas beat his ass to try to get that heat off himself. He did do that shit. I mean, I don't think they would have known him though if he let's say if Kanan was just never came around. Because keep in mind, what if he's trying to if Monet is trying to keep that a secret, then they never would have known. It all depends on if Kanan is the type to be like, no, I'm not gonna abandon my seed. But I don't think he's that type, me personally. I think that nigga don't give a fuck. Also, I'm gonna say this too. A couple of other stuff that was hinted, you know what I'm saying? Look at what Monet was doing with Detective Ramirez. Kind of seemed like to me, I mean, we get it that Lorenzo was in jail, but it just kind of seemed like Monet may have been a little promiscuous, and also the same with remember when Rico in the season finale, the same episode she ended up killing him, how he was talking to her, he was like, um, I got me some sweet New York pussy waiting for me. Cause by the looks of it, it don't look like you gonna give me some. He was kind of talking as if him and Monet smashed before, but he's like, "You mad at me right now, so you ain't gonna give me none." So it kind of looked like Monet may have been a little out there. You feel me? So who's to say that Kanan didn't end up messing around with her, smacking her a few times, and then getting her pregnant? You said it was just bad casting. Lorenzo favored Jew and knew he was gay because Lorenzo was giving up the cheats in prison. Hey, why did I not too long ago slick think something like that? I'm like, bro, hold up. Um, Maybe that's the reason why, you know what I'm saying, Drew inherited it, but Kane didn't. Because that's his son and the other one ain't. What year y'all think Power Origins will stop in the series? I think it's probably gonna stop like 2005. That's my year. I'm gonna say the year Kanan goes to jail. Maybe and maybe a little after that, possibly like 2007 or some shit. But I think it's gonna stop a little bit after Kanan goes to jail. Possibly, it's weird because you know how it was written, how Ghost and Tommy said, well, Ghost was telling Tommy during the series that they only been working for Lobos for 6 months, in season one. You might get that and then see they might change that, like the year that they actually meet Lobos. I'm pretty sure I would say if they make it that far, they're gonna change that that year because I just think it'll be easier for them to introduce it to the storyline. So they might actually have Lobos meeting them 2007 ish, maybe 2010 or something like that. And then say, instead of saying they've been working for them for 6 months, maybe 6 years. I hope they add Monet to Origins and add that storyline about hooking up with Kanan before meeting Lorenzo. That'd be dope if they did. It answered a lot of those questions. Lorenzo was drew to run the show to push an agenda. What do you mean about the agenda? What agenda is he trying to push? Hey, Kitty. Hey, that is funny. That is funny. And they both did own somebody else. He said he said it runs in the family. At first I thought Kanan's son was Dre. After that dinner scene, Lorenzo asked her who the father, like that wasn't the first time. That's why she left and out. Yeah, that's another thing, Ali. That's a good catch. Definitely a good catch because I was thinking about that too. Because when he was asking, and the father, it do seem like damn. So this bitch did more than just that. Because look, the way it kind of came off is if he, because you remember in season 4 when he was asking how is our little hurricane, it kind of seemed like even then, he knew that that wasn't his son, but he accepted it. Maybe because of some kind of circumstance or whatever the hell it was that happened. But it just kind of seemed like it to me. And then of course at that dinner table, like you said, he it seemed like he like so it wasn't just, the Kanan situation. So you did this with this Mecca nigga too before you even met me. So Monet just full of secrets. I think Lorenzo knew about Ramirez to keep them off the carburetor. Yeah, he did, but still, oh nay, oh nay out there wilding. I could see I could see Rock mentoring Monet. They have the same way. Yep. Monet told Lorenzo Drew was not like Kane, and Diana speaks volume. And again, here's another thing. Remember once Lorenzo had Kane beat up and Monet found out about it, she was like, "You're not around him no more," and stuff like that. To I know how he is now. He's mine. Don't do that shit again. It just kind of and then whenever when Poppy got out and he was doing his missions and stuff, he was taking Drew with him and not Kane. Like some of that stuff that they were doing, you could have did that with Kane. And then as a father, think about it like this. You should have known him being the oldest son and you constantly rubbing it in. He wasn't trying to hide it at all. Rubbing it in that he's favoring Drew over him, like that. That Kane was gonna get jealous and that was gonna start something. He should have kind of known that. You feel me? Like we get it that Drew might be smarter and better at it, but he could have had a different way of going about with that. He could have sat him down like, look, everybody played different positions. Kane, you're good at being the muscle guy, the enforcer, making sure the family is protected. Drew, he got the brains and stuff like that to be able to run the operation and make sure everybody eat. And he didn't try to do that shit at all. He just said, man, fuck that shit. Drew is in charge, nigga. Yeah, I could say around 2006 or 2007, but this Easter egg hunt I know was back in season two or whatever it was a record up for Tommy where his case is back in 2008 or something around that. Not sure what you mean with that last part. I don't understand crashing out over a time. If they chill out the first time, it'll be no issue. Okay. Rico didn't smash Monet. Why y'all crazy about that? Hey, I didn't say that he's mad, but the way he was saying it, bro, it just seemed like he may could have. I told y'all he had been running Lorenzo the whole time and using him taking secrets to the grave. She been running. Okay. I think I think she set him up to go to prison. You might be right on that. Even though I kind of think if I had to bet on it, I'll say no. But you might be right on that. Lorenzo Tejada was pushing the left hand agenda. You know what too? Lorenzo shows so much love for Diana that he do for Drew or Kane, but I could say Drew too. But he got him beat up after Zeke died. Yeah, he did that to cover his own ass though. Lorenzo favoritism towards Drew over Kane despite Kane being the oldest could point doubt about his paternity. Could. Another reason why I hated Tariq, Kane couldn't win. No real gangster is gonna accept his son being gay and leave the family business to him, unless the dad is gay too. Therefore, won't won't discriminate. Hey, I actually gotta agree with you there, Takari. I think no real gangster is gonna actually be okay with that shit like that. Like the way he was just able to quickly accept it, like it was just not a thing. But this is just modern day agenda being pushed in TV. That's all this shit was. Basically, Tommy was arrested a few times for manslaughter and bodies he was catching that could be one of the main reason of him saying he's dead in New York as well because he's a menace. If they was gonna write Drew as gay, should have been given a few obstacles like trying to gain Lorenzo acceptance. In Raising Kanan, it took time for Marvin to accept Jukebox for being gay. Remember in season one, he even choked out over it. Yeah, it took him a while, and I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Let's be real. It's different when you got. I mean, you don't want it with your daughter either, but I think as a father, you'll be more acceptance to it with your daughter than you would your son. I'm just keeping it 100. I mean, you ain't gonna like it with either one, but just saying because you're not gonna want to be as hard on her as you would your son. I think it was a move. I think it was movie by or Get It How I Live had Kanan homeboy Al, who was the one Tommy killed when trying to get Tasha, and Monet put that gun to Tommy head. Sean is going to turn out not to be Kanan's kid, and his real son could be Kane. Lorenzo went to prison being because Big Guap, not because of Monet. Yeah, he got caught up with something like that, but basically, she I think she might be implying that she did something to instigate it or cause it. Wait, I know this might sound crazy. How it sounds. Now, did Kane got touched as a kid, something like that, and Kanan did sleep with Palomar when he's young too? I could be wrong and jumping into conclusion there. No, Kane was touched as a kid. That is something that's true, and and Kanan did sleep with Palomar. That is also true. But anyways, I'm about to go ahead and head to this third one because we was on the first one way too long. This about to end up being a long ass live, and I'm gonna try to get me some sleep. It's crazy, but yeah, I still got to set up. I still got to set up this morning show topics and stuff. Anyways, though, topic number three: the most anticipated premiere. So basically, after a good season finale, and they ended up dropping something on a bomb on us, and we like, God damn, they ignorant as hell for ending it like that, and you gotta wait till next season. What was the biggest? We can do a top five if we want, or just throw a couple of them out there. What was the biggest premieres that you would like? Man, I can't wait till Power returns. For me, I'm thinking of mine right now. Let me see. I'm actually gonna do it in order. That's what I'm about to put them in order by each series. So obviously you can't say season one because it's the very first episode. But I think season Um, it probably was season 6 for is the most anticipated premiere for me in the original because season 1. I mean, after Angie was shot, you had to think of wondering whether or not um, Angie survived or not. It was this big old hype between this Ghost versus Tommy situation. There was promoting it. Are you team Tommy or team Ghost and shit like that? You saying Power Legacy D? We ain't even seen how Raising Kanan ended yet. Well, how Force ended yet. I'm really talking about the things that we already seen yet. But I mean, if you want to say Power Legacy, that's fine too. Damn, I just know y'all said a lot of other shit. Tariq idolized Kanan not knowing Kane, his son. Yeah, Kane. No, not Kanan. Kane was touched. Was implied that he said they be out there hurting kids and Monet protecting them, and he mentioned it. Yeah. So Takara, you say book 2, season 3. So the aftermath of the after the death of Mecca, and of course Zeke has been killed as well. I mean, I respect your opinion. For me, not really. I think I was way more hyped after season 3. So the premiere, or maybe this is what you're saying. You're saying the premiere for season 4 after, because after we got the finale of 3, the premiere was season 4. Episode 1. Now it was big hype for that for sure. But I think, like I said, for the original Power, season 6 is probably the biggest premiere that everybody was anticipating. Um, for Raising Kanan so far, for me, I think it's definitely, undoubtedly, season four's premiere because everybody wants to, after seeing Unique come back, walk up on Ronnie's body. That everybody's saying that he is alive. Everybody's like curious of how he survived and stuff like that. And then of course the hype was everybody was like, "Damn, is this nigga gonna come back and be Breeze?" So I think Raising Kanan it definitely was season 4 premiere. And then of course Force we only got one season to choose from. I mean we only have one season to choose for, so it's kind of hard to say. But we do have one that's getting ready to come, and I would say it got to be premiere of season 3 by default, kind of. But going back to book 2 for me, I think let me see the biggest for me. Yeah, it's definitely 4. It has to be 4 because after season 1, it was cool. It was a great finale, but like I don't think it left us with too big of a cliffhanger that made you be like dying to see season 2. Season 4 of Power Ghost. I thought a big war was gonna pop off with the Tejada. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I would say it's top 5 too. If Force did end with him that Ghost is alive, then it would probably be Power Legacy. Yeah, that's why I'm saying we gotta wait to see. But if they do that, then absolutely, unquestionably, without a shadow of a doubt, it's gonna be Power Legacy. Season 3 of OG Power. So you're saying, you know what? Batman, I can actually agree with that to a degree too, because they left off with, you know, letting us know that Kanan did break out, so he is still alive. Ghost thinking he's out of the game, revealing that Lobos is still alive as well, and now he's tasked Tommy with, killing Ghost. And then what else? What else is going on? Going. Oh yeah, and then Mike Sandoval finally revealed that he was the mole that was working for Lobos. So yeah, they kind of left us a lot of heat with season 2 going into season 3. That was also good, Demarcus. So the end of season 3, Ghost being arrested. So the premiere would be season 4. Everybody was a little curious of what it would be like, with Ghost being arrested by the love of his life. Ghost is arrested. Tariq is with Kanan. What else is going on during that time? I mean, that's pretty much it. Of Tommy been becoming a new connect, but I still can't say it was bigger than. Definitely wasn't bigger than season 6, nor um, it wasn't bigger than season 6 or season 2. I don't think. Well, season 3 premiere, the premiere of season 3. Crazy how we only got one flashback of young Kane in book 2, and it's just as an infant. We've seen young Drew twice and Diana once. Yeah. Ken and 2K, I gotta agree that two, and plus to me, I feel like it could have been 2 parts as 15 episodes, like half of Tariq versus Tahadas and Noma. Then by the end, they all come together against Noma. Well, I've said it many times and I'll say it once again. I think that's just only, it was only turned out that way because of that constellation. That wasn't the original ending that they're supposed to have. Go season 4, I was ready to see how the betrayal would turn out. Yeah. When Ghost got arrested by Angela and Donovan was my most anticipated season opener. Okay. Book 2, season 3. Everyone thought Ghost was coming back since it was the last season. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Well, the premiere would be season 4, though. The premiere of season 4. But yeah, absolutely. Everybody was thinking Ghost was getting ready to come back. Claudia getting stabbed in prison in 4th season 2 parallels Lobos getting stabbed in season 2 of OG Power. It does. It happened very similar, which is another reason that I believe Claudia is still alive. The FBI's efforts to shut down Ghost operation, including the nightclub, Jude, and Lakeisha's salon, threatened to dismantle his. Okay, this nigga. Think after when they death, they all come together in a way so maybe the next show they will be together. What if this season of Force come out with a crazy cliffhanger as Tariq is out there helping to Tommy and Ghost is there too, but who knows? If Courtney Kemp had not left, her vision of the season four probably would have been way different. She even teased that Kane is supposed to be Tariq's main villain. Yeah, and I think that would have turned out pretty well. Season one goes book to see if Tasha or Tariq was going to jail. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, you can definitely say the premiere of book two, the very first episode of book two. Because I think what was also anticipated was people trying to watch it to see if the show was going to be any good without Amari. Never thought Tariq would get killed when they all had him cornered in the warehouse. He's the main character. He couldn't be killed. Yeah, but yeah, of course we knew he wasn't going to die in season three for sure. One, Angela arrested goes. Two, when Kanan returned. And three, after Raina death. Four, you right. Season. I think we got to give a little bit of love to season five too, because after the death of Raina, then of course Tariq catches his first body, and then also for the first time we actually see Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan working together to try and get Dre. So that was the anticipation going into season five. When Marvin and Rock got shot, five, when they pulled the strap on Tommy were my anticipated season openers. So if I had to give a top five for my top, mine would be I think the biggest one for me. Shit, honestly, bro, number one might be season four of Raising Canaan for me. I'm just being honest. It might be because that unique coming back shit was crazy for me. And then we can also go with I think season four of book two. Then maybe season five of the original. No, season six, then season five. And I think I'm gonna give number five spot to Forest season three, even though we ain't seen the premiere yet. But the hype is real right now. So hopefully it can live up to the expectation. Book two is good, not perfect, but good enough to last that long. A lot of people still don't like Tariq or even trash book two because Amari not in it. I watched book two to see if Tariq could graduate with a high enough GPA to get his inheritance. I didn't care that Ghost was gone because I was tired of his superhero persona anyway. Well, I wasn't. If Ghost came back in force, how you think it will happen? Tommy and Tariq gonna be into some mad trouble, and then he had to come back and save their ass. Joseph Sakura is aware of the ghost is alive theories, and he be trolling the fans, hinting that ghosts may appear, so they tune in. Yeah, he definitely be doing it. I ain't going front. I could say the same for me too with Unique coming back. Yeah, bro, that shit was big. But anyways, pretty good. I'm about to go ahead and head into the last one. Last one. And we are at the most missed characters. Now, yes, I do have my boy Cooper Sacks here at the front of it. Cause I don't know about y'all, but I was a fan of Cooper Sacks. Me personally. I fucked with my boy Sacks. And they did my boy wrong, taking him out. All my nigga was trying to do was be a rat. And you know, stand for something, stand for justice. And y'all just gonna and Theo gonna just do my boy like that. Hey, appreciate the super chat, deposit. It's hilarious that you cape for Effie for wanting to be better her life. However, you not be Rilla for wanting to better his life. Effie and B Rilla are basically the same character. I don't know, nigga. I don't know how you just made this comparison, but let's address it. So first out, you said I cape for Effie for wanting to be better with her life. However, I not be Rilla. I did not be Rilla for wanting better for his life. This nigga be Rilla was acting like he just a gangster and stuff like that. And he just didn't fall for he wasn't about the hype. That's all we was talking about. And we were saying that his music was garbage. That's where his heat come from. Ain't got nothing to do with that. And I never said nothing about Effie wanting better for her life. I just said that my biggest stance I think of what you're referring to is that I think she was the best match for Tariq, and I still do. Just saying. Nobody say he not watching Origins. That's crazy, man. We gonna need you up in here, man. We need you. We're gonna need you to watch it. Cooper Sash should have survived the show once again and made it to the Origins. Yeah, well, he made it to Legacy. Yeah, they could let my nigga be made it to Legacy, man. Cooper was cool, but he was sliding thin with the oh shit. My most missed character in is Lauren, the civilian snitch. Why? Was it because like you just uh, like think she's attractive or like what's the reason? Cooper Sass was a cornball, but no matter what, I do got to say I miss him as well. He been through a whole lot for from OG Power to Ghost Boot 2 Ghost. He did everything he could do, but he couldn't win. Exactly, Brett. Exactly. My boy was definitely, and I don't think it's really. Can we in this chat right now agree that Cooper Sacks was unanimously the best law enforcement character? Hey, yeah, Demarcus, I ain't gonna lie, I got to rock with you on the Bronny situation too. But like on the law enforcement side, it's definitely Cooper Sacks. And I didn't want to, I felt like picking Ghost would have been just way too easy. So I wanted to eliminate Ghost. So we're not gonna choose him. But outside of that, yeah, I think we, I miss Ronnie because they didn't get my nigga long enough. All he wanted was his work too. Folks acting like my nigga was complicated or something. He just wanted his work. Is it? He wouldn't even bother nobody. Who else though? Let me see who else missing. I'm pretty sure don't nobody miss Rhino. Maybe Proctor. Tariq and Effie too much alike about being first. They will forever bump heads, and she gonna snake him again. At the end of the day, Effie was the best match. John Mott's still alive though, has he? Effie said she was a monster, but she not. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Ronnie meet Branford. Yeah, that'd have been cool. Lawrence's love story with Tariq was a big part of book two in the beginning. Like he kept almost getting her, but something went wrong. Then after he finally gets her, she turns snitch and disappears. Mm, I can agree that they might have the best story for sure. But see, this is the thing. If Tariq ass would have just listened to his daddy, he could have been with Lauren and not had no issues. I miss Tariq's sister Raina too, man. That death was devastating. Damn, you actually miss Raina? I'm just saying. I mean, obviously she didn't deserve what happened to her, but miss her? Hell no. You love to hate Cooper Sacks. He was good for the storyline. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like you can't stand his ass, but hey, he was needed. Yeah, Julio was a G for sure. Yeah, Effie didn't have a dark enough side to call herself a monster. Absolutely. I guess she just mean by the fact that she's willing to sell out somebody who actually cared about her. That's what she meant. Best dead law enforcement is Sachs, but overall I'm thinking Mock. Mock was cold. Yeah, Mock was no joke, boy. That nigga was on their ass. That nigga was on their ass, boy. John Mock was doing work on season 4 and 5. That boy was not playing. Had John Mock was on Angie ass so much that she was considering have Tommy take his ass out. She was like, "This nigga is not playing. I may actually need this man help." And y'all, that's a scene that I think would have been cool if we actually could have saw it. What if John Mock would have been too out of control for Angie to control it? That she would actually have gave Tommy's, John's real full name, like John Mock, and told Tommy where to find him. How do y'all think that would have played out? But yeah, another thing, one of my favorite moments with John Mock, even though John wasn't there doing it, I just thought it was funny when Proctor was talking to Ghost and he was like, it was some name on the paperwork for Terezi that makes him nervous. John Mock. And Ghost was like, that motherfucker again? Because he knew that nigga was on their ass, boy. And hey, John Mock actually had a lot of them folks in the chokehold. Cause this nigga was on Ghost ass, on Angie ass, he was on Tommy ass, he was on Terry Silver ass, he was on Prot bro. That man was he was on folks, he was on Teresi ass. That man was playing. Effie can't be a monster when she cried while having. Why do y'all keep bringing that up? Let my girl live, man. While having a gun pointed in her face by a cop. And if she was a gangster, she would have popped Lauren. Well, she ain't never really claimed to be a gangster. Yeah, I figured Kanan was gonna come up. I actually thought Kanan would come up a little sooner than that. Now you justify because Effie said she was a boss and she died. Just like Be Real not a no, 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 DeMarcus. You're not about to spend that because They were saying in B Rilla's description when they was introducing his character that he was volatile, and this nigga didn't have an ounce of that shit in him. They didn't say that, but when you look up the synopsis and you look up the description for Effie, they're not gonna say anything like that. I'm pretty sure. So now. So Steve, you saying Julio? Lauren looked down on Tariq and her parents too. Being with him is a death wish to her. I don't know if I can say Lauren looked down on him, but her parents certainly did. Yeah, I think I agree. John Mock was the best at his job as far as law enforcement. What I was saying is like Cooper Sacks is the best law enforcement, like as far as his character. Like, character being annoying and being there corny, trying so hard and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Then the sole survivor of constantly doing what he's doing. Because eventually John calmed down once he got his position up in DC. I would say Kanan so he could have teach Tariq punk ass how to fight, but he could up the gun though. Detective Woodman was pretty cool. Is he ain't Cooper Sacks or John Mott, but yeah, he was cool. Where were y'all rank Detective Garcia? He really asked, really, to be honest. Yeah, the John Mockwood play it. That's Every pulled the gun on Tariq, but nobody else. How you gonna act like you would pop your man, but nobody else? Y'all hard on Effie up in here. John Mock and Sachs is better than Stacy Marks. Everybody better than Stacy Marks. Stop justifying for Effie, however Cloud to be realer. It ain't no hypocritical, bro. This nigga wasn't volatile. This nigga was soft. I'm just saying he wasn't matching what they saying. What if they spit it in the origin series? Breeze never died. That'd be that'd be crazy. Cause I knew a couple of people that actually said that shit. Tariq, his relationship with Diana develops over the series with him eventually becoming committed to her. This nigga. Tate's brother too. He should have lasted longer, especially since they dropped the ball on the storyline with Tate getting revenge against Carter. Yeah. Tamika Washington was a beast in law enforcement also. Well, I think Tamika was good at being a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? But as far as a prosecutor, not really. Like I loved her scene in season 1 of book 2, episode 6, when they was doing the mock trial and they had her come in to she was cooking Tasha ass. Like that, I actually really loved that scene. Detective Garcia ain't really intimidated for real. I would say a 5 out of 10. Yeah. They should put Councilman Tate in Origins when he was a police officer. That'd actually be cool. I would have loved to see Tate as an officer. Yeah. Hopefully they do give us that side of it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But that scene with Garcia and Unique when he said something about cut on his head, I thought Unique would fold, but he held it down. Nah, I didn't think he was gonna fold. So we just gonna forget that Tate brother literally had a family on his own in the original Power and was way more smarter. Nah, I wouldn't forget that. What did we sleep on, Demarcus? She didn't do shit. What are we talking about? There's that. Yeah, we sleep because she put us to sleep. Well, she didn't do shit. Like I said, as an attorney, yeah, I'll give her some props on that. She was good. Loved her in season one. Like I said, she didn't do shit all in season six. Every win that they accomplished, or it looked like they was moving towards some the right direction. It always came from Angela, John Mock, or Sax. Tamika didn't do a damn thing. Tamika know more about them St. Patrick's. She just keep trying to save them. Tate was a crooked cop officer too. Yeah, it would been love. It would been love to see this nigga Tate as officer. Could y'all imagine Sax and Don Carter actually working together? That'd have been crazy, right? That's a good take, Demarcus. Sax and Carter on the same side. So could do you don't think Carter could possibly maybe flip Sax? Because Sax is unethical. He'll bend the rules if it comes to getting the St. Patrick's. But I don't know if that's his cup of tea though. Because what Carter was into is probably a little bit above what you know, a little bit above of what Sax was capable of. What actor could you see play a crooked cop in Raising Kanan slash Origins that's more intimidating though? Shit. I actually think Steve Harris was a pretty good cop. He just was in a bad show, kind of on BMF. The Detective Bryant. They could bring him over to Power. I think he'll be fairly good. Now you see that people piggyback off what I say. Origins can really be good if they include backstories with Monet, McAtate, and Davis. I don't know. I kind of feel like they're gonna focus a whole lot on, Ghost and Tommy, that they'll be kind of going out of the focal point of what it is if they kind of touched on too many other stories. That's what I believe. But somebody just said something. I just seen a post that they were saying that they should have gotten Rome Flynn to play young Ghost for Origins. For those of y'all that's not familiar with who Rome Flynn is, if you watch Godfather of Harlem, he's the one that played Frank Lucas. He's also in a couple of other stuff, How to Get Away with Murder. Um, he was in the Half and the Half Knives. What else? Yeah. So yeah, I think he could have pulled it off. Yeah. Imagine if Carter knew Jukebox and Ray Ray. I kind of think he did. That, to be honest with you. Wait, what you said? Sax meeting Don Carter now. I don't know. That'll be insane. Yeah, that was Otto who said it. I think though. But yeah, that'd have been crazy. Nah, that was Demarcus who said it. Sorry. I ain't gonna lie, Demarcus. You kind of making your case right now. Why would they announce Tommy and Tariq in this Legacy spinoff? It has to be a surprise at the final episode of Force. I agree. Because why would they say that? You know what I'm saying? So early, basically indicating that, Tommy doesn't die and that, him and Tariq is going to be together. It's something major. And keep in mind, um, Gianni and Joseph teased it during the filming of, that was it well, I can't say it was during the filming of Force, but still they were teasing saying that, it's not over. Wait till you see what's coming next. It's gonna blow your mind. That was his exact words. So it's something big that's coming. And Gary Lennon even teased that, you're gonna get another familiar face to come back, and it's gonna be something surprising, and it's gonna fulfill you the way the fans want to be fulfilled, basically. Michael Ealy acting in book two was superior, but the role he had oh the but the role he was asked to play was ridiculous. It wasn't realistic or believable at all. Everybody having to work for Carter really limited the storyline. Well, I don't know. That's one part that I absolutely did enjoy was Carter. And I think they found the right person for young Tommy. Oh, that would have been a good one. Yeah, I think Rome could have held it down. It makes me wonder, did he audition for that? Because he already played a gangster. He played Frank Lucas, so I mean, he definitely could have fit it. And I mean, the look as far as the looks department. I mean, I guess it's close enough. But another thing would be a height thing. He's definitely absolutely a great deal taller than Mackay. But shoot, him and Spencer, him and Spencer's close to around the same height. So not sure who Demani Cease is. Let me look that up. Ah, that's that dude that they was talking about that was saying he wanted to play. I mean, I don't know. I don't know nothing about him really. Then the cliffhanger would be Tommy and Tariq leaving Chicago to a different state or something. It got to be something bigger than that. Um, no, I haven't watched Wu Tang Clan. It's crazy. I was just today. I was looking at my old audition for Wu Tang. I never watched Tulsa King, but at least if they only in the third season, maybe I can catch up on that. But anything beyond 3 seasons, I don't even want to mess with it. Shit is crazy. But anyways, y'all, I'm about to get ready to wrap this thing up so we can get last remarks and stuff out. Also, real quick before I get in there, anybody seen the scene of Joseph Sakura on Reasonable Doubt? What did y'all think of it if you did see
He said there was a bright, glowing red object hovering outside the front gate.
it? Man, he said Tommy is a nerd. I don't like his acting. I'm gonna say this though about that one. I wasn't. I'm gonna say this. I wasn't too impressed by it. I gotta get. I'm gonna still give him, some give him some try because I know he is a good actor. But I don't know. It's making me wonder: is that not his angle? I don't know. It just felt a little. It felt maybe it's just because I'm so used to seeing him be Tommy that I'm having a hard time shaking him not being that type of character. Yeah, you should check that out though, D. It's actually a really good show. So Demarcus, I don't know. It's something YouTube doing some kind of weird shit where that shit be just moving. I don't know because it be always switching. I don't know what the hell's going on with that shit. It be going up and down like it's like some kind of glitch is going on. So honestly, I couldn't even tell you. Yeah, I actually seen that you're talking about support, and he was cool at that. I seen that movie or movie show, whichever, whatever it was. Okay. So um this is about to stay hard on Tommy. But yeah, I'm about to get ready to go ahead and close this out because I'm gathering together my topics for this morning show. And I gotta still make my slides and stuff like that for it. So need time to go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna try to get some damn sleep tonight. 'Cause like I told you, I have really haven't slept. None today. I think I did a 1 hour power nap and got right back up. I saw that. I saw that, Demarcus. Yeah, I know she's in there. Appreciate that, Batman, and appreciate that, D. Y'all. Um, be back for the morning show. Um, at 10:30 Central, like the same time. So yeah. It's probably gonna take me like another hour or so, maybe, to go ahead and get this other stuff done. So I probably can be sleep by like 3 o'clock. Get back up around 6, around 7 probably. So yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.